Following breaking news right now into the WCTV newsroom, Tallahassee Police Chief Michael DeLeo with an update now on the Tallahassee yoga studio shooting that happened back in November. We'll listen in live.
We're following breaking news right now, a shooting happening off of Dura Circle in Tallahassee. This video just coming into our newsroom, the location near the intersection of Mission and Apple Yard on the city's west side.
Our Alex Crescenti is live on the scene right now. Alex, tell us what you see.
Yeah, Julie, Eden, we arrived on the scene around 4:30, about a half hour ago, and right now, currently, there are helicopters hovering over.
We're joined now by CBS's Bob Schieffer, who has covered years and years of elections.
That's right. And Bob, before we talk about specifically Florida and Georgia, we want to know, what are your thoughts about where the national landscape stands the night before Election Day?
Coverage from the Panhandle. Our Abby Walton is inside the amphitheater right now. That's where the president will be speaking later tonight. And Ben Kaplan talking to folks outside as they await the commander-in-chief. The president set to speak 8 o'clock our time.
A lot of people across North Florida, of course, hoping to hear him talk about the impact of Hurricane Michael and federal disaster relief. The president currently on his way. This is video from just a short time ago as he boarded Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland on his way to Tyndall Air Force Base in the Florida Panhandle. He'll be speaking at that amphitheater, and Abby Walton is inside for us right now. Abby, those folks starting to file in, lots of them, and they're excited, I'm sure.
Right now at 4, we're following the floods. This in Davenport, Iowa. Streets turned into rivers, makeshift barges moving supplies throughout. You can see them right there. Cities underwater across the Midwest. Millions of people hoping for some type of relief.
Closer to home, Mike is tracking an early tropical disturbance. It's passing through the Bahamas. Will it have any impact on our area? Mike's forecast is just 3 minutes away.
Happening now, U.S. Attorney General William Barr testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee about his findings from the Mueller report.
And new today, a lockdown lifted at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, after a gunman opened fire on the last day of class. Video right here showing Tuesday's scene. 2 people were killed, 4 others injured. 3 of them are in critical condition.
We're following some breaking news this afternoon out of Washington. The Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions, is stepping down at the request of the president.
President Trump says Sessions' Chief of Staff, Matthew Whitaker, will become acting Attorney General. We'll have more on this in a matter of moments.
And undecided, both candidates for Georgia governor agreeing their race isn't over. Here's a look at the latest numbers for Republican Secretary of State Brian Kemp and Democrat Stacey Abrams.
Finality in Florida's governor's race. Republican Ron DeSantis, the winner by the closest of margins. His opponent, Andrew Gillum, conceding last night. You heard both candidates speak live during WCTV's election coverage last night at 11.
History made in so many races nationwide, a blue wave seen in Congress.
Democrats taking over the House in the midterms this year. Karen Caifa in Washington with the latest on all this. Karen. This 6-month anniversary, really just taking a look at it in pictures and in video here. This is Marianna in Jackson County. I can't imagine people that have lived there their entire lives driving down the road and seeing this right after the storm. Pretty tough to look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this is in Bristol in Liberty County, west of us. When we were out covering the storm, we just heard Bristol had just had so much damage done to it.
Right.
Took us a while to get there, but again, Michael Hudak was there recently, and you can see the recovery efforts that are ongoing there.
Yeah, and also Chattahoochee, that was another place that was hit hard. This is some of the scenes that we saw directly after the storm tore through the area. I actually had a chance to go back to Chattahoochee last night, and the damage is still very evident today. Take a look now. Some residents still trying to pick up the pieces. All right, take a look at this. This is from last month. Our cameras were there as Florida Ag Commissioner Nikki Fried was touring hurricane-ravaged Calhoun County. She requested funding to help with debris removal following Hurricane Michael. And it's been a busy last few months for the commissioner. The Florida legislative session just wrapping up. She joined us live in the studio today. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me again.
Last night, the National Weather Service confirming a tornado touchdown in South Georgia. You see some of the images here. The National Weather Weather Service confirming that EF1, as Mike just alluded to, touching down in Colquitt County in the Moultrie area. This, some of the aftermath from that last night.
Very relieved because now this family can move forward and try to find peace.
Sadness swallowing Thomas County tonight. The body of Deanna Shirey found, an entire community now in mourning. The 70-year-old Thomasville woman reported missing nearly 2 weeks ago. Since then, hundreds of members of law enforcement and folks in Thomas County joining the intense search for her. Miss Deanna, discovered today near the home of this man, Robert Carter, named a person of interest in her disappearance, now a prime suspect, at this point not charged in Shirey's death. We have team coverage on tonight's top story. Nolani Matthews with reaction from Deanna's loved ones. Erica Fernandez talks to her neighbors, and Lenitra Bennett in Carter's neighborhood. Julie Montanaro live in Thomasville this evening, anchoring our coverage from there. Julie?